close. Tomorrow's sunrise will be ridiculous.
That thing is just not.
Yeah. Thank you, internal ND, and my levels. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk to you about something that I've been really getting into, and I think it's something that a lot of photographers should get into, and that's photo books. So I was just shooting some product photography. If you can, here, let me just, you can see the products for Home and Hadfield. So I was just shooting a bunch of product photography and stuff like that. And you know, when it comes to product photography, a lot of times when I don't feel inspired or I don't know what to shoot, I look on Instagram, because that's kind of product photography heaven if you think about it. I was thinking about it as I was scrolling through the countless feeds and Pinterest boards and all that stuff about what I'm looking at. And I realized that I'm looking at the same things over and over and over again. And that's really what Instagram is. It's kind of copy and paste, if you will. It's kind of like cheat off my test, just don't do all the same answers solution. And I've realized that, especially recently with the increase of reels and the increase of, you know, trending audio and honestly all the trends, that I haven't found any true inspiration really from Instagram, and honestly social media in general. For me, that's really hard, because I always want to be inspired by things. I want to be motivated, and I don't want to have the mindset of chasing bangers, you know? I think when I started taking photos and really started taking Instagram seriously and stuff like that, that was definitely a priority of mine, is, you know, taking the best photos I can and what would be the coolest on the grid and for the algorithm and all that stuff. But recently I've been looking into a lot of photo books, and there's this one photo book that I found that kind of made me think a whole lot about why I'm a photographer. So this is the photo book. It's called The Natural World, and it's by a photographer named Thomas D. Mangelson. And this is a sick photo book. It's amazing. I got this photo book in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and I visited his gallery there, and it was stunning. He had these massive landscapes and portraits, you know, lit up perfectly into this gallery. They were, you know, taller than me, and they were just these beautiful photos. And I realized, you know, these aren't pics on Instagram. These are works of art that belong in a gallery, that belong in a museum. You know, I've loved collecting in general. I collect a lot of things. I collect things from knives to watches to rings to, I don't know, tennis rackets. I don't know. Once I find something that I like to collect, I end up collecting more and more and more. Decks of cards. I don't know why. I really have no idea. But I've recently started collecting photo books. And if you can see behind me, I have on the bottom shelf that this one is Harry Potter. So on this bottom shelf, it's all photo books. And I love looking through these photo books because they give me a piece of inspiration that I can't find anywhere else. I mean, a lot of times, even if I see some of those photos on Instagram, it doesn't feel the same as when you see them in a book printed out. And I think that's why I have this dream of wanting to create a photo book. I've realized that as a photographer, I'd rather make photos that last forever than take a photo for the grid or for the feed that will be, you know, scrolled past, or if at best double tapped then scroll past. I want to take photos that are remembered. Maybe they're photos that aren't even remembered during my time. Maybe they're for a different time. One of my favorite movies is At Eternity's Gate, starring Willem Dafoe, and it's about Vincent van Gogh. Surprise. And there's a beautiful quote in that movie that says, "Maybe God made me a painter for people who aren't born yet." I remember first hearing that quote, and it really hit me. I think it made me realize that I was more than just a photographer or a filmmaker, but that we're artists. And through art, we're able to tell stories, we're able to convey emotions. I don't want to be 80, 90, 100 years old and look back on my life and think, oh, I only just did it for the gram. I want to have a collection of work that at least someone will remember me by. whether it's grandchild or a friend. And I know it's a very unpopular thing, because right now everyone's very much in the, you gotta follow the trends, you gotta, hustle, do the algorithm things and X, Y, and Z. But sometimes I just have a problem grasping that concept and thinking, what's the point? What's the point of taking a photo of me sitting on a ledge in Hawaii that I've seen before just for likes on Instagram? There really is no point. That brings me back to these photo books. This book is really cool. This book's really cool because, one, the spine is right there, and it actually opens like this. I feel like a teacher. Like that. It's super cool. And basically, all these photos were taken with a panoramic camera. I think it was a panoramic film camera. It might have also been digital. I don't know. These photos are absolutely beautiful. I mean, you can flip to any page and find a amazing, even the cover photo. These penguins. I see a photo like that and I just think, automatically I think that wouldn't get likes on Instagram because that's not a 4x5. And then I just want to slap myself because I'm like, why am I thinking in terms of Instagram? Why am I thinking in this bubble that is created for us to stay in, even though art is all about going beyond that bubble, thinking outside of the box, and yet we are stuck in this mindset, this 4x5 box of Instagram. And that's why I love photo books, because this is not a 4x5 box. This is something else. This is, true art in a photo book. Just flipping to this photo. You have this beautiful photo of these two lions on a rock. And it's just gorgeous. And not to mention, this is another really famous photo book. Accidentally Wes Anderson. I love this book. It is truly, honestly, really inspiring because of what's in it. Honestly, really simple. It's not crazy stuff, and it's honestly beautiful photos like this. Look at that. It's a pink hotel that is very Wes Anderson. But, all of these photos have that, symmetrical vibe. They're all color graded in this beautiful way. I don't know what they're taken on. They could be taken on film with Portrait 800, or they could be taken with an R5 or a Hasselblad. Who cares? Who cares if they're taken on a film camera, a 150,000 megapixel camera, or a 11 megapixel camera? It's art, and that's what gets me so psyched. Okay, I just got this. Oh, it's dirty already. I just got this. This is Feder, and it's by the company or the brand or InsainHusain, and this is amazing. So Roger Feder has been my idol ever since I was a kid, and this book highlights his entire career through, you guessed it, photos. We have just photos like iPhone photos. You have photos of him at the net against Pete Sampras, or you have photos of him holding up the trophies, or of him winning the Olympics, him with Nadal, him playing on the Burj Khalifa, just highlighting his life with photos. And when asked about this, he said that an autobiography wouldn't have made sense to properly tell this story, to tell his story of his legendary career, but photos will. If you guys have seen this is one of my favorite photos ever. And it says so much in one photo. It's him and Nadal at his retirement ceremony. They're playing this video on a montage of his career and stuff like that, and they're both crying. They held hands because even though they had a rivalry in their tennis career, they were friends. And that's a legacy right there, and it's captured for us to revisit. That's what art is about. Even take this book, Peter Lindenberg on fashion photography. Here's a photo of Brad Pitt that Peter took, and this was for Gucci by Tom Ford, and this was just one of the photos. But look at that. If I saw that photo in a museum, I would stare at it for days. Just thinking about the story, thinking about what's going on in his head, what's the story he's thinking about, what's behind the scenes of that photo. And also, being a photographer myself, I'd also wonder, how is this photo taken? What was used? what light did he use? Did he use a strobe? What camera did he use? But also, what was the conversation? What was the atmosphere like in the room? I think that's why photo books are so inspiring, because they take you out of the bubble of the 4x5 box that Instagram is so known for and makes you think outside of it. All right, so check this out. This is the book Dune Exposures by Greg Fraser and Josh Brolin. This whole book is like a BTS book of the filming of Dune 1 and 2, but taken on film photos and iPhone photos and stuff like that by Greg Fraser and Josh Brolin. Like, this is a photo of Jason Momoa being Jason Momoa, and it's just amazing. Like, all these photos tell such an awesome story that you don't get, that you never see on Instagram. And honestly, I feel like even if I did see them on Instagram, I wouldn't even notice that they were on Instagram, and I would just swipe past through them, because it's like the mindset you get when you're on the app. You just start swiping. You don't stop. I guess it all kind of comes down to that quote from At Eternity's Gate.
Maybe God made me a painter for people who aren't born yet.
Tell me, brother, am I a good painter?
You're not a good painter, Vincent. You're a great painter.
All right, so I figured I'd end this video in the office, just kind of wrap up the thoughts that I've been having over the past couple, honestly, months. And recently, my intentions with photography have gone from getting Instagram likes and stuff like that to making more art. And I feel like that's where I started when I first picked up a camera. And I kind of like that. I think the beauty about inspiration is that you never know when it's gonna hit. And I guess we just have to be ready to capture it when it does. I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this topic. I think it's really interesting talking about kind of art in general, and us as photographers, especially photographers on YouTube, on Instagram, stuff like that. You know, photography is very saturated, so I'd love to hear what you guys think about photography and where it's going and where it has been, and your personal opinions on creating art. You know, do you like reels? Do you like trends? Do you like timeless, you know, who knows? Where do you guys find your inspiration from? I've honestly been loving collecting photo books. I think I might have an addiction, so I think I might need to start making them. Hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to press like, and let me know down below what you guys are thinking. If you have a favorite photo book that you would highly recommend, leave it down in the comments. Subscribe if you guys want more photo related content, cameras, photography, art in general, stuff like that. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all later. Peace. Also, I got a very special video coming about this baby.